Say hi.
Hi there.
You've got fuel tank, correct?
I do. Take a standard Mercury fitting.
Yep, same standard Mercury fitting. It is electric start, so if you're set up with that, I mean, put it through its paces.
I'm gonna do it.
Awesome.
I'll do it for you.
Thank you very much. You're really good.
All right. That's the 20, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Okay, so a while back when I before I did my final review of that that motor and what I had came across the most awesome motor that Fallon Marine was hosting at the boat show, and then later on, to me, Fallon Marine find out they have similar interests with me in terms of the whole tiny boat thing and the whole promotion to children and promotion to fishing thing and small boating. Those are all things, so I'm glad to be working with them. And as a result of that working relationship, they've lended me this motor for demo. Now, this is a legit portable short shaft tiller. It's only 5 horsepower less than that, but it weighs 65 pounds less than that. So that was my whole little debut, little like kind of struggle. What do you want to call it? Dilemma? Yeah, a dilemma. That's what I had between after I bought that and then actually seeing this out on that boat show, and then wondering, dang, did I flop here? Having you know Karina talk about comparing this one to that of a old 42 stroke, wondering, so now I get to actually try that. I'm actually going to swap this motor and put it on that boat. The old body style of Mercury was notoriously heavier than that of the new body styles. They chewed away down here at the motor mounts. They really slimmed down the design. They had this nice new slick ergonomic design, kind of like on the 3 and 400R boats. They're all kind of coming out like this for their new higher models. Not to mention like the tiller. Really nice. I like that tiller. It's nice. Doesn't compare to this one. Forward, rear, no confusion. There's your stop. This goes all the way up, and you can actually move it and run it down, and you can actually, in really close tight quarters, you can stand up and move it and tilt it like that. And it's got a locking here, so it's not flopping up and down the road. This I thought was invaluable. This little handle is a legit handle that you can grab to move the motor. So it's already designed very nicely to be an actual portable short shaft tiller in conjunction with this. It actually has the clamps. This motor, I think this motor just cross sections over a lot. It can be a portable or it can be a console motor. I think it's got the old body style. The older 20s weighed somewhere around between 125, 130 pounds. I don't have the stats right now, but they literally shave between 25 and 30 pounds off the entire motor. It's 64, 65 pounds worth the additional 5 horsepower. It's like a 5 horsepower motor. Isn't that what it weighs anyways? About another 60. So it's like, or is the additional cut in the weight going to be worth the loss in 5 horsepower? Is the torque from that 4-stroke going to make it work? They're both EFI motors. They're both super, super quiet. Both of them are very impressive in terms of stats. It really all comes down to, I really think, just the weight. The weight itself makes this motor, in its class, maybe the pound per pound champion. Like, I know Yamaha puts out a similar deal. Evinrude doesn't even make a 20. So it's up to this one. Let's see how strong it is. Let's put it on the boat. Let's get that thing off. Really, that thing is also time. This thing is actually ready for maintenance. So when we have it on the stand, we're gonna maintenance it. We're gonna change the oil. We're gonna do a few things to it that we do post break-in, because it is right at 20 hours on the timer. I always through bolt this for one reason. The motor never can slip off. I'm deathly afraid of the motor just like flying off the transom while you're motoring. Like watching those in the boat fail videos, that just like mortifies me. And then water was never gonna get in there. And all motors gonna have, the Merc motors all have that little spot right there in the motors. Okay. Set it all nice like that. All right, 20. Be ready for this. Okay, it's on there. It looks so small on my boat. Man, it's tiny. hilarious. No. Right, try it on that pin. Sweet. It's so tiny. Look at it. It looks like my Evinrude. My Evinrude was on this boat. It just looked like a super tiny motor. Good thing though is, if this motor does play in this boat, this is a big boat. Myself, my son in this boat, if this motor can plane us and get us up to like even like 20 miles an hour, that's pretty darn good. That means it's a pretty damn strong motor. So let's see what it's got. All right, guys, game day, or well, game morning. Here we are. We got it on here. It's all nice and shiny. I'm gonna try and one hand most of this. Look how much they cut out of the motor mounts there. That's where a lot of the majority of the weight savings came from. Kind of reminds me more of how the older two-strokes were, where, you know, they shook a little bit. You know, you visibly saw the head flex more, but the motor was much lighter and it was just much more doable. I mean, the bigger downfall to four-strokes in general is they're just a lot heavier and they don't rev as high. So we can't have it all, but they're getting close to it. I think with this motor specifically, we're getting close to it. There's 20 legitimate horses. Doesn't rev as high, but it has a lot of torque. And it can get this boat on plane. I tested it last night. I was pretty happy about it with the initial test, and that was just the initial kind of run-in. Now that it's got a little bit of runtime on it, we're going to be able to open up it a little bit more. Here we are, neutral. Start button. Starts like a boss. And if it didn't work, I mean, the pull is not that hard of a pull, so it's easily doable. On the tiller handle, this is the rubber. If you wanted this to like stay in that position, this is the tightener. This is like the tensioner of the actual throttle, so it'll stay there now. You release that off. You release it all, and it will go back to normal. That's pretty nice. I mean, a lot of motors, I'll tell you, they won't do that, and where the throttle tensioner is absolutely useless. This I love. Much more control, no messing up. Honestly, the twist control is what it is. You know, it works, but it's not like this. I mean, you reverse, neutral, forward, super easy. Super easy. I wasn't absolutely a fan about it way back there, like in the older motors, and I'm not a terrible fan about it here. But I really do like the shifter up here. Like, you can look at it physically. Pretty nice. All right, so let's do it. Let's see what it's got. It gets an A+ in my book. Playing this boat with me in it and all my gear in it, it's not a light boat. The motor did pick up very nice amount of torque, got me right on plane I mean, I like to see how it would do with like 2 more grown adults and maybe some individuals. It did all right with me and my son. It did pick up. We didn't press it very hard because it was initial avoidance, and we didn't really push it much past half throttle, 60% throttle. This time I throttled it all the way up, and I had it at 80% after a few hours on, and I had it wide open for a few seconds. I didn't hold it wide open. I just I was asked kind of pulse the throttle and make sure it felt the range. So I hope this answers any questions if people are wondering whether they should get this or they should go for a 25. I think the 99-pound strength to weight ratio. I mean, the boat feels noticeably lighter in the back. It gets on place. It's just easier. And this is with a 10 pitch. Now I run a 9 pitch on my 25 because I put my 25 through a lot. Like I tow people, I do things. I don't know. I kind of like the torque range, but I really like this 10 pitch prop on this motor. So I'm thinking about getting a 10 pitch. A lot of people are telling me to get a 10 pitch 4-blade for my 25, so I'll try that. Really would have liked to have had a 9 pitch for this. That would have had a more equal comparison in terms of whatever, but I really like the outcome. Super quiet, super stealthy, perfect for trolling, perfect for portability, perfect for storage. It is definitely not lacking in power. You can tell some noticeable difference between the 25 and the 20, but not a lot. I would say this is pretty close to it. But in terms of customer service and overall satisfaction and quality of care and presence, Mercury is unbeatable, especially out here on the West Coast. I mean, they just are. I mean, you call them, they answer the phone, they answer questions, and that's just like their main office. Any other office out there with their techs will help you, you know, undeniably. I want to thank Fallon Marine for giving me the opportunity to review this motor and demo it and just get to experience it and show it with my audience. And I definitely will be going through them from now on for any of my outboard needs and to potentially get this one. I'm kind of obsessed with the motor now that I've actually tried it. I don't want to give it back, but I'm going to give it back. Such a sick thing. Cannot go wrong, guys. Look at it. 2019 20 horsepower EFI 4-stroke Merc. You gotta get it. If you're looking for a new outboard, this is the one to get, guys. Later.